Today on Behind the Reel, we're going to be looking at the genius of the interrogation scene in The Dark Knight.
Does it depress you, Commissioner, to know just how alone you really are?
Hello everyone and welcome back to Behind the Reel. My name is Ben Farmer and we're going to be talking about the interrogation scene in The Dark Knight today. Specifically, we're going to be looking at how it builds tension and how Christopher Nolan and his team use different techniques to build that tension and make us feel uneasy. So let's dive in and let's take a look.
Never start with the head. The victim gets all fuzzy. He can't feel the neck. See?
You wanted me. Here I am.
Okay, so right off the bat, we have a iconic Batman and the Joker. Christian Bale, Heath Ledger, amazing performances in this film. But we're going to be taking a look at how you build tension. So pay close attention to the camera and how it moves. I'm going to be stopping and starting this a few times to really accentuate a few points that I have.
I wanted to see what you'd do. And you didn't disappoint. You let 5 people die. Then you let Dent take your place. Even to a guy like me, that's cold.
Okay, so I'm going to stop right here and show you that, okay, we're looking over Christian Bale's right shoulder towards Heath Ledger playing the Joker, and what we're about to see is a switch and break of the 180-degree rule. So the 180-degree rule, let's draw a line between these two characters, right? And if we take the camera and put it over the shoulder of Batman, over his right shoulder, the 180-degree rule says that I have to, right? Rules are made to be broken, as we're going to see here. I have to go to the other shoulder to make it make sense for the audience, so that your cameras are really facing each other, and it doesn't look like you're now looking somewhere else. But let's watch what happens here.
Cold.
Where's Dent?
So we've switched sides here. And normally, like, I don't think a casual moviegoer would really be like, oh, you just broke the 180-degree rule. I don't think that's the case. But what it does subconsciously is make you feel a little bit uneasy, because now we feel like we're in a different place. At least that's how I see it. But what we're doing here is, you could see the camera was moving. It was on a dolly, and we were moving behind Batman, and that allows us to then go to the other side of Heath, because now we switch back and we realize, okay, that camera was moving behind Batman, and while it was moving behind Batman, we switched sides and we're doing the same movement on both sides. So we're changing where that 180-degree rule comes into play, because once we're on that side, we're now switching back and forth on the correct side. So let's keep watching.
Things were, but I know the truth. There's no going back. You've changed things. Forever.
Then why do you want to kill me?
I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? No. You complete me.
You're garbage. You kills for money.
Don't talk like one of them. You're not.
So you can start to see the camera slowly coming back to the other side. And another thing that this does is really shows the power switch in this interrogation. It's subconsciously, again, like all of this is really theoretical, but you know, when you explain it, I think it works a little bit better. So when we started the scene, the Batman was definitely in control of this scene. So we had, you know, wider shots of him. He's more stoic. He's more centered. Joker's just trying to get his bearings. And then all of a sudden we have this switch to now we see more of the Joker in the frame, because he's now in control. He's trying to feed Batman all of these rules and philosophical ideas that are trying to, you know, break the Batman as he's sitting right next to him, or right in front of him, really.
Like to be. To them, you're just a freak. Like me.
And see, now we've switched back to the other side. So when we've swapped back, we should be seeing from the original start position of the scene.
They'll cast you out. Like a leper. See, their morals, their code. It's a bad joke. You've dropped at the first sign of trouble. They're only as good as the world allows them to be. I'll show you. When the chips are down, These
You see how more and more the Joker's filling up the frame here. It's just another subconscious way of just saying he's in control of this scene right now. He's really getting inside Batman's head and saying, hey, you're just like me. All these good guys over here on the other side of the wall, like they're only as good as the world allows them to be, just as he says. I mean, and he's 100% right.
these civilized people, they'll eat each other. See, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve.
Okay, so there's a very distinct difference in what we just saw here. So we were on a dolly, very locked down camera, not much handheld movement here, and then all of a sudden, Batman loses his cool, picks him up, and then we're on a handheld camera, kind of shaking. So that type of camera movement is good for building tension. So like if you want your audience to feel like, everything's kind of chaotic right now, which this scene very much is, we're on a handheld camera. So think about those things when you're making your next project. Does your camera movement really dictate how everyone in the audience is supposed to feel? And using these subconscious, theories of camera movement and how to play out a scene and blocking, all of those things really come together and make your scene even better. So if you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, well, they just didn't really think this through and they just shot the scene and however it worked out is how it worked. No. So let's keep watching here because we're going to get to see scenes that are really chaotic and things are just not as they appear.
Where's Dent? Have all these rules and you think they'll save you.
He's in control. I have one rule.
Oh, then that's the rule you'll have to break to know the truth.
Which is?
The only sensible way to live in this world is without rules. And tonight, you're gonna break your one rule.
I'm considering it.
No minutes left, so you're gonna have to play my little game if you want to save one of them.
Yeah.
For a while there, I thought you really were, Dent. The way you threw yourself after her. Look at you go! Does Harvey know about you and his little bully? Where are they? Killing is making a choice. Where are they?
Choose between one life or the other. Your friend, the district attorney, or his blushing bride to be.
So I love this scene. I'm going to get caught watching it with y'all. So this is such like a powerful scene because you have in the background, you have Hans Zimmer slowly creeping up with that tension violin Joker theme that's going on in the background, making you feel a little bit uneasy and not knowing what's going to happen next. But just showing like how close Batman was to just breaking his one rule of not killing anybody in order to get the information he needed. And Joker knows that if he keeps pushing the buttons and pushing the buttons, Batman will break that one rule and then everyone will see him for what he really is. And even though we have this power struggle going on, the camera's looking down at Joker because he's in a position where, he's getting beat up by Batman and Batman seems to be in control, so we're looking up at him. It's really an interesting dynamic of, where does the line get drawn here?
Nothing to threaten me with. Nothing to do with all your strength. Don't worry, I'm gonna tell you where they are. Both of them. And that's the point. You'll have to choose. He's at 250 52nd Street, and she's on Avenue X. That's just a...
Okay, so I'm going to stop it right here and talk about the scene as a whole and what you can learn from it. I hope that in my explanation you were able to pick up that camera movement and camera positions and really framing in general, composition, all of that keyword stuff is really important to your scene and how it plays out. So when you're looking at your scene as a whole, let's say we take Batman and the Joker out of it. This is a perfect interrogation scene because we have power struggles where we see more of one character who's in control and he's very stoic and he's not really doing much. Then we have the other one who's sort of relaxed and laid back and he's kind of feeding into what he knows about the other character, in this case Batman. And you really get that sense of power struggle between the close-ups and the wide shots and just the variance in the types of shots that we see in this scene. So think about that for your next project and see if there's something that you can do on your side of the camera that can really influence how the audience is going to feel or how your scene is going to play out, that will result in something as a character revelation, or something as simple as a win-lose situation. So like I always say, take a step back and really think about your scene and think about, what does this mean for my movie? What does this mean for the audience? How are they going to perceive this? Taking a step back is always a great way to reanalyze a scene and see if there's something that you may have not thought of before. At the end of the day, this scene from The Dark Knight really showcases the power of cinema, and really the brilliant performances from Christian Bale and Heath Ledger, and really the entire crew on this movie. Brilliant showcasing of all their talent, all of their research, all of their intense planning of these scenes. Because had they not done this, I don't think that this scene would have been as powerful as it is. All right, that's a wrap for today. Leave a comment down below if you enjoyed this episode, and if you have a different scene in The Dark Knight that is your favorite, maybe I'll go in and analyze that scene for you. Hit that like button, smash the subscribe button if you haven't already. I appreciate every single one of you. This channel has been growing, and I really, really am enjoying making these videos. So definitely stick around for the next episode of Behind the Reel, and we'll see you next time. God bless.